Hey guys, let's look at A6, which is solving linear equations. This is your final assignment from AMI. And so without further ado, let's solve some equations, okay? Our first equation is 9 minus 2t is equal to, that's a crazy thing that I just did. Sorry. Is equal to -9, okay? And so what you want to think about is how can I get the variable all by itself, okay? So that's what you're thinking about over and over and over again. So I'm trying to get t all by itself. So I'm going to move anything added or subtracted first, and I want to think about whether the sign of the thing that I'm moving is positive or negative, okay? So I'm going to move the 9. The 9 is positive because it doesn't have a negative in front of it, so that means to take it off the left side, I need to do 9 minus 9 to get 0. But if I subtract 9 on that side, I'm going to subtract 9 on this side. And remember, I like this organizing line if you get a little bit confused when you're solving, just to kind of help you remember that everything I do to the left side, I have to do the right side, and so on and so forth. Okay? So this is gone. This comes down. So you have negative 2t is equal to -9 minus 9, which is -18, same sign, add, keep the sign. Then divide by -2 to undo the multiplication, 2 times t. And that's going to leave you with t is equal to 9. Okay? And you can check that by doing 9 minus 2 times 9. That would be 9 minus 18, which is -9. So you check it by just plugging it back in and make sure you get a true statement. Okay? All right, let's do this guy right here. I'm going to be lazy and actually just work down from it. So the first thing I see is I've got this fraction bar and then a -1 underneath that fraction. And I don't like that. I think that is crazy and weird, and I'm just going to move it, okay? So I'm going to undo divided by -1 by multiplying by -1. The inverse operation of negative division is multiplication. So this is -1. So -1 times -2, I'm going to go ahead and move this over here, is +2. And then -1, or excuse me, divided by -1 and times -1, those undo each other, right? And so we're left with z plus 11 on the right side. And then it's just one more step, right? So if I think about this, I'm just going to subtract 11 because I want z all by itself. 11 is positive, so I'm going to do 11 minus 11, so it goes to 0, right? I want this to go to 0. But when I do the right side, I must do to the left side. So 2 minus 11 is -9. So -9 is equal to z. We got another one of those crazy fraction ones, right? So I see divided by -3, and it's causing me angst. So I'm going to undo divided by -3 by multiplying times -3 on both sides because that's the inverse operation. And -3 divided by -3 times -3, those undo each other. On this left side of the equal sign, all I have left now is p plus 1. And on the right side, 1 times -3, which is -3. Okay, so now one more step, trying to get p by itself. Just subtract 1 away from p. 1 minus 1 is 0, just like I want it to be, so that p is all by itself. But what I do to this side, I have to also do to this side. So that leaves me with p is equal to -4. Remember, you can check any of these answers by plugging them back in. I'm not going to do that simply because it would make this video even longer. Okay, so here's what we got. What I'm seeing that I'm wanting to fix right off the bat is I'm seeing minus and negative here. And I'm not a big fan of having two operations sort of right next to each other like that. So I'm actually going to rewrite this as 3w plus 4 is equal to 7. And I know what some of you are thinking right now. You're thinking, I'm not going to write these down. I'm going to do these in my head. I know who I'm talking to. You're going to work way more problems than you need if you would, unless you just step by step this. Okay, so I fixed that minus and negative, came a plus. Now I can just solve this little two-step. Oh, that wasn't straight. Equation. So anything added or subtracted gets moved first. So I'm going to move this 4. 4 is positive, so I'm going to subtract it. Minus 4, minus 4. Wow. 4 minus 4 is 0, just like I want it to be. So that leaves me with 3w on the left side. 7 minus 4 is positive 3. Then undo multiplication, 3 times w, by division, just like you undo division and multiplication, because they're inverses. And I'm left with w, or 1w, because 3 divided by 3 is 1, is equal to 3 divided by 3, which is 1. I think it's crazy how sometimes it erases, sometimes it doesn't. I can't figure it out. Okay, so see here, this is what I was talking about, this like crazy thing that happens when you have two operations that are just sort of sitting next to each other. So I'm going to fix that. I'm going to rewrite this as negative 7 is equal to negative 5. And then plus a minus is just minus. That's all it is. So minus 2p. Okay, so those two operations, they look confusing, but plus and minus is just minus, minus and minus is plus. Yes, it's confusing. Okay, so drawing my organizing line, trying to get p all by itself and move anything added or subtracted first. So this 5 is getting moved, but 5 is negative. And so I don't want to just subtract this 5 because it's already negative. So negative 5 plus 5, that's what's going to make this 0. So think about what would make it 0 when you're trying to add or subtract to get a number away from the variable. So add 5, because that's what I did on the right side. Negative 7 plus 5 is negative 2. And then bringing down the 2p, and I want to be careful because there's a negative sign in front of that, so it needs to come down as well. These little nitpicky things, these are the things that get us when we're solving these, okay? Now, getting p all by itself, it says negative 2 times p, so I'm going to undo multiplication of negative 2 with division. And that's going to leave me with p is equal to positive 1, because anything divided by itself is 1. Okay? What am I looking for? This one right here. 1. Submit. Clear. All right. Here we go. I'm going to rewrite her again because look at that. Plus a negative. I hate that. So I'm going to have j divided by negative 3 minus, because plus a negative is minus. So minus 9 is equal to negative 7. And now this is a little confusing because before, when we had a division sign, I said, let's just multiply first and move that. But we don't want to do that this time because the 9 isn't divided by 3. So we want to move it first before we multiply by negative 3. The difference is if this had said j minus 9 all divided by negative 3, if both of those things were divided by negative 3, then I would divide first. But because this 3 isn't dividing this 9, I've got to move that 9 first, okay? So I'm going to add 9 to both sides, negative 9 and positive 9, 0, just like I would like for it to be. What I do to the left side, I have to do to the right side, leaving me with j divided by -3 on the left. -7 plus 9 is 2 on the right. Now undo division with multiplication. Oh, that looks like a decimal point. I don't like that. Times -3. Okay, so -3 times -3 divided by -3, inverses, and they go, leaving me with 1j or just j on the left side. J for Jenna. 2 times -3 is -6. Y'all, I'm losing my mind. That's what's happening right now. So my answer, my solution for J is -6. Yes. Submit. Let's do that again. I don't actually need to rewrite this one because I don't have a double operation, but I'm going to go ahead and move it over here because I don't want to work when it's over there. So we got z divided by 2 plus 10 is equal to 11. No need for any rewrites. This is exactly like the previous problem, except for this is now positive 10. And so when I move it, I'm going to subtract. Okay. So remember, don't do this divided by 2 first. Don't do it. Do this minus 10 first, or remove this plus 10 first by minusing 10, because that 10 is not affected by that 2. So you don't want to multiply times 2 first. Okay, 10 minus 10 is 0, just like I want. Z divided by 2 on this side over here. And 11 minus 10 is 1. So I have z divided by 2 is equal to 1. You might just say, oh, I know that 2 divided by 2 is 1, so I know the answer, but you can undo divided by 2 using multiplication. So I multiply by 2 on both sides. Times 2 divided by 2 goes to 1, z. And 1 times 2 is 2. And there we go. It's beautiful, wonderful, fantastic. Never been better. Oh dear. We are at Smart Score 55. Did you know you can speed me up if I'm talking too slow? Nobody's ever told me I talk too slow, but you could, because I'm on YouTube, just speed me up. All right, so here's what I'm seeing when I rewrite this equation. I see like terms on the same side of the equal sign. Like terms on the same side of the equal sign tells me I'm going to combine those at some point. I am going to rewrite this first, though, because I'm seeing minus and negative, 2 operations. Let's go ahead and go to 1. So we're going to rewrite this as -4 minus negative becomes a plus. Oh my gosh, there's more. Let's get rid of all this. Blah, 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 blah. Look at this. Minus a negative, that becomes plus. Plus a negative, that becomes minus. So this is -4n plus 6n minus 12 is equal to 10. Do you see what just happened there? What just happened is minus a negative became plus. Plus a negative became minus. So watch that. Be careful. Now let's combine. -4n and 6n becomes 2n, because you got 6 and you take away 4. So 2n minus 12 is equal to 10. Isolating n, get rid of anything addition or subtraction first. Opposite of minus 12 is plus 12. I shouldn't say opposite. I should say inverse. Well, they have opposite signs. I guess I could say opposites. -12 and positive 12 goes to 0, just like I want, leaving me with 2n on the left side. And then 10 plus 12 is 22. Yeah. And then 2 times n, divide by 2 for your inverse operation on both sides. 2 divided by 2 leaves me with 1n. And 22 divided by 2 is 11. I hope I did that right. We're gonna find out because I'm not checking it. Don't do this. You should check this, really. Yay, awesome. I love the little, like when it tells me that I'm awesome, because people just don't say that to me enough. And I feel like I need more people telling me I'm awesome in my life. All right, let's look at this guy. There's no double operations happening in here. So I'm going to go straight to combining like terms. I want to be super careful when I combine like terms in this one, because this is negative 14. And y'all, over and over again, we go too fast and we do negative 14. We just do 14 plus 4, that's 18. Minus 18, that's what it's going to be. Be careful. This is negative 14 plus 4. Which is negative 10. So this becomes 17R. Wow, there's a whole nother R here. Y'all, these all have R in them. Okay, back this train up. We're going to do 17 minus 14 plus 4. That's what we're going to do. We're going to combine these coefficients, making sure we take the signs in them. When I first read this, I thought the 17 didn't have an R. So 17 minus 4, that's 3. And then 3 plus 4, that's 7. So this is 7R on the left side and 14 on the right. Divide by 7, and R is 2. Okay. Let's see if we hit home run yet. 64. Y'all, I don't know how you do this every week. Oh my gosh. Okay, let's clear that. Oh, good, an easy one. You ready? 5 plus 2G is equal to 9. Getting the G by itself, moving the added 5 first. 5 is positive. So I'm going to do 5 minus 5 to make sure that I get 0. But if I subtract 5 on the left side, I got to subtract 5 on this right side, bringing down this 2G. I have 2G is equal to 9 minus 5, and that's 4. And I just remembered that I have a cup of coffee. Okay, back to it. 2G is 4. Obviously, 2 times 2 is 4, but let's go ahead and do the whole thing. Divide by 2 on both sides so that we get 1G, and 4 divided by 2 is 2. This might be one that you would say 5 plus 2 times something is 9. Well, I know 5 plus 4 is 9, and 2 times 2 is 4. The answer is 2, and that's okay. We are going to have to distribute. You know how I know we have to distribute? Because there's a stinking parentheses in the middle of this problem. 1 equals 3 times v minus 6 minus 2. Okay, first thing, if there's parentheses in this problem, distribute. Okay, so let's do that. Distribute. 1 is equal to 3v, right? 3 times v, 3v. 3 times negative 6 minus 18. And then does this 3 distribute to this 2? Nope, because it's not in the parentheses. So the minus 2, it doesn't get to play. It just has to stay like it is. So it's just a minus 2 still. Woo. Okay, I see like terms over here on this right side, so I'm going to go ahead and combine those numbers. 3v doesn't have any friends, so he's just going to stay 3v. Negative 18 and negative 2, that becomes negative 20. Solving for the 3v, move anything added or subtracted first. I see this minus 20. To make it go to 0, I'm going to add 20 because negative 20 and positive 20 is 0, just like I want. Add 20 on this side as well. And 1 plus 20 is 21. And that's 3v. And then divide by 3 on both sides. I'm running out of room, so I'm just going to do v is equal to 7, right? 3 times what is 21? 3 times 7 is 21. Of course it is. And so our answer is 7. Interestingly enough, you might have gotten that one kind of quick because 3 minus 2 is 1. So this has to be 1 in here, 7 minus 6, right? Maybe not, maybe not, maybe not. An easy one. Okay, I'm sick of that color. Let's do this color. All right, so we're looking at 5j minus 5 equals 10. Okay, move anything added or subtracted first from the variable. The variable is j, 5 has been subtracted. Add 5 to undo minus 5. Do that on both sides. Make sure your negative and 5 and positive 5 actually go to 0 like you want them to. Leaving you with 5j and 15. And then 5 times what is 15? 5 times 3 is 15. Or you could divide by 5 and 15 divided by 5 is 3. You could do it that way too. It's not as fun or as exciting. It's not like magic. All right. Man, another easy one. I'm going to pause this and skip it. Ha! When that's more challenging. All right. Let's see what we got here. We're going to be looking for like terms. I got a 9k and a negative 7k and a positive 2k and then a 4 who's not like terms with the other 3, so it just gets left alone. So I have some number of k's minus 4 is equal to 20. That's what's happening right now. And then figure out how many k's I have. I'll just do 9 minus 7 plus 2. So I'm just combining my coefficients on my k's here. 9 minus 7 is 2. 2 plus 2 is 4. So I have 4k. Y'all, I hope you're making fun of me because I'm making fun of me in my head. All right, solving this guy. I have, what do I have? I have minus 4 attached to the k. So I'm going to undo that by adding 4. Adding 4. Whoop. Oh, dear. That goes to 0. Negative 4 and 4 goes to 0 like I want. Bringing down this 4k right here. And 20 plus 4 is 24. And then 4 times what is 24? 6. You got it right. Or you can divide by 4 on both sides and do 24 divided by 4 and get 6 that way. Whatever pleases thee. Just so long as you get 6. Another distributive problem. I don't really like this pale blue. I'm going to, what do y'all think? How about that color? Magenta or something like that. Okay, it just looks purple. Okay, looking at 1 is equal to 2 times z minus 6 is, oh, minus 5. That is that 5 is too fabulous. Let's fix him. Okay, minus 5. There we go. All right, 1 equals 2 times z minus 6 minus 5. And I see parentheses. Remember, I told you first thing you do if parentheses are involved in your equation is you distribute the number in front to everything inside the parentheses and nothing out. So this becomes 1 is equal to 2 times z, which is just 2z. 2 times negative 6, which is negative 12. 2 times, nope. No. 5 doesn't get to play because he's outside. It's just going to be minus 5. Okay. Okay. Now, on the right side of this equation, we have a negative 12 and a negative 5. So we have 1 is equal to 2z. Negative 12 and negative 5 signs are alike. Add them together, I get 17. Keep the sign, it's negative, negative 17. Isolating the z, moving anything added or subtracted first. I'm going to do plus 17 because negative 17 and positive 17 goes to 0. Adding 17 over here, I get 2z is equal to, I ran out of line, there we go. 1 plus 17, which is 18. Whoa, where'd my equal sign go? There she is. And then 2 times what is 18? 2 times the 9 is 18. So again, 9 is my answer, or I could divide by 2 on both sides. 18 divided by 2 is 9. I could do that too. It's not as exciting. Okay. 9. Submit. Woo! 83. 83. Wondering if I should keep going. Yeah. Let's keep going. You might want it. Okay, let's look at this. I've got 2d minus 6d. I've got a minus a negative, and then everything else is fine after that, right? So 2d minus 4d, it's like saying 2d minus 6d, right? It's like saying 2 minus 6, which is negative 4. So we have negative 4d minus a negative, which becomes a positive, 16 is equal to negative 12. That was the ugliest line ever. Woo, rough. Okay, moving this plus 16, I'm going to subtract 16. Subtract 16. 16 minus 16 is 0, just like I want for it to be. Bringing down the negative 4d from the steps before it, and that's going to be equal to negative 12 and negative 16, signs alike. Add, keep the sign, that is 28. Negative 4 times what is negative 28? And if you're not sure, just divide by negative 4 on each side, because this time it is a positive 7. You might have gotten that sign wrong, so be careful. I'm about to write negative 7. It is positive 7. Negative divided by negative is positive, okay? I feel like I worked that one fast. Little anxiety. This one is the exact same, only it's plus a negative. So I'm going to combine these two. I'm going to fix this double sign situation. And so this is going to be negative 13 minus 11. Signs alike, add, keep the sign, negative 24. So we have negative 24, u, plus a negative, that's minus 20, is equal to 4. When I was in the 8th grade, my Algebra 1 teacher maybe it was 9th grade, I can't remember. I had this Algebra 1 teacher who taught on an overhead projector. I don't know if you guys know what that is, but it's like a plastic sheet, and it would project whatever she wrote on the plastic sheet on this machine onto the wall. We didn't have screens at that point even. It was just on the wall. And it made this like when she would work new problems. And then also the whirring of the fan in the projector was like this like calm, soothing sound. So she would like turn the lights off and have this like calm, soothing machine, and she had this like really sweet voice. And I really liked her a lot. She was so sweet. But her voice in her class just put me to sleep. It was terrible. So anyways, but what's actually made me think of that is the clicking, which I'm not sure if you can hear the clicking on the videos because I've never actually watched these videos. I hope that's not annoying, like the from that machine, because if you can hear the number of times I'm having to click, I'm sorry. Okay, so I'm in the middle of this problem and I'm just talking away, working, talking. So I added 20 to both sides and I got 24, divided by negative 24 and got negative 1. Okay, guys, I feel like I have worked a lot of problems. I feel like I've probably worked the majority of what you're going to see in this section. Let's see what happens when I skip to 90 for, no, see, I just don't think they're going to get much harder or any harder than that. So the things you want to be careful of, just a recap, if there's parentheses, distributive property first. If there's a double sign situation, fix it before you start working. If there's a division sign only under one thing, add or subtract first. If it's under both things, multiply first, okay? Guys, this is it. This is the end. When you finish this assignment, you are on summer break, assuming you are caught up for geometry. I love you. Guys, I will see you next year because we are going back to school when school starts, where I am going to be a mad person. Okay, love you. Bye.